Hello, hello. I am so excited to give you my 6-month Mounjaro review. I cannot believe it's been 6 months. I will share with you the good, the bad, and the awesome. Stick around. I will also share at some point during the video the before and after pics so you can see my weight loss. So let's start with the good. Number one, I started eating healthier. I made better food choices. I ate out less and I reduced fried foods, all of which I was doing terribly before Mounjaro. I was constantly eating out. Everything I ate and ordered was fried. And once I started Mounjaro, I just didn't have the desire to eat fried foods or to eat a lot of processed foods. I think part of that was because I was fearful that I would get really sick. I heard a lot of people say in the social media groups when they ate fried foods and processed foods and sugary foods that they would get sick. So I did not want that to happen to me. So that's one of the things that motivated me. Also, Mounjaro suppresses your appetite and takes away that desire to want to eat processed foods and junk food. Number two, I started to put myself first. I started to give myself more self-care. I purposely set time aside to reflect and do things that I wanted to do. A lot of my focus is my daughter, my family, and caring for them. So I've had to make a purposeful effort to put myself first. I have what I call my me time, and it just really helps me replenish myself and puts me in the right frame of mind to help others. So I've appreciated that. The third good thing about Mounjaro is the appetite suppression that it gives you is just great. It was exactly what I needed. I had the most appetite suppression on 2.5 milligrams. And I think that's because my body was just getting used to Mounjaro. It was a new medication in my system. Then as I moved up, of course, your body adjusts to whatever you're doing. I did have suppression of my appetite on 5 milligrams, but it did not last very long. And also the food noise. When I first started on Mounjaro, the food noise was basically gone. I mean, I didn't think about food. When you hear people say, I didn't want to eat, I didn't think about eating, I didn't have a desire to eat, I experienced that same thing. Then I've also been tracking my calories, so I knew I had to get the calories in. That is what stopped me from under eating. The good news is the appetite suppression and the food noise were significantly reduced on Mounjaro, and I do appreciate that. Now for the bad. These are the things that aren't so good on Mounjaro. The number one bad thing I will tell anybody about my experience on Mounjaro is the fatigue. I felt like it made me really tired, but it didn't last all week long. The injections are weekly. I usually take my injections on Saturdays. I started off taking them Saturday morning, and then I moved into Saturday evening just because I was so busy and would forget in the morning to take it. And by the time I remembered and settled down for the day, it was the evening. I would take the injection, then I would go to bed. And so I didn't really experience side effects. The one thing that happened with each dose I took is immediately I had a dry mouth. Like I felt like I needed to drink water. It just gave you that thirst feeling, and then sometimes a little bit of a full feeling. But I wouldn't get sick. I would go to bed and lay down and usually go to sleep. And I would be up before the morning. So I would be up in the middle of the night and I would have a burst of energy. This happened especially in June. I think it's because I knew that my daughter didn't have school. I knew I didn't have to be as quiet because if she woke up, she didn't have to get up and be anywhere early. So I don't know if that played into it, but I had a burst of energy, which I loved, but it just happened at the wrong time. It was in the middle of the night. I would get up and clean and organize and do whatever I needed to do for 2 or 3 hours, and then I could go back to sleep. But the fatigue, I would say, was one of the worst things, just feeling like I had low energy. The second bad thing on Mounjaro by far is the constipation. I have had constipation. I usually get it once or twice a week, and I do take Colace that helps with softening the stool. I can go easier. And it also stimulates my bowels. It's not supposed to because it's not the laxative, but it works for me in that way. That's one of the reasons why I take it and recommend it as often as I can. Another thing I did for constipation was add more fiber. getting more fiber in my diet, looking for foods to help with that. I also purchased fiber gummies, and I still haven't gotten consistent at taking those. I need to just leave those out on the counter so I can remind myself, but I don't, because I don't want my daughter to get into them. So I put them away, and that hinders me. I need to set a reminder. I plan on taking 2 in the morning and 2 at night. That's my goal. Sometimes I get the 2 in the morning. I rarely get the 2 at night. So I need to be more consistent with that. The third bad thing I experienced on Mounjaro over these 6 months is being nervous that something will make me sick. I mean, I had the biggest fear that I'm going to eat something that's going to make me sick. Now, the good news is it deters you from eating something bad. The bad news is you don't want to vilify food and make foods an enemy, because once you do that, I think that sets you up for issues with food. And I don't need any more issues than I already have. I really want to make sure that I don't develop that thinking like that's a bad food. I tell my daughter, who's perfectly healthy and doesn't have a weight issue, that we eat everything in moderation. And I want to model that for her. And I also want her to really believe that, because I believe that's true. That brings us to the awesome things I've experienced on Mounjaro. And the number one thing that I've experienced on Mounjaro that has been awesome is my A1C went from 7.6%, which is in diabetic range, to 6.3%, which is in the pre-diabetic range. The first 3 months I was taking Mounjaro. I am thrilled with that. I've worked so hard in the past to get my A1C down, cutting out carbs and doing other things, and I did have this quick of a result. I never wanted to be in the diabetic range. I always thought, yeah, I may be bigger, but I'm never going to become diabetic. And then I saw my number, 7.6, and I couldn't believe it. So for me to bring it down to the pre-diabetic range, and then hopefully when I go back, it'll be under the pre-diabetic range. That is my goal. So the number 2 awesome thing on Mounjaro over these past 6 months is that I wanted my clothes to fit better, and I have accomplished that goal. So I'm excited about that. I want to focus on my clothes fitting better. I had so many big size shirts and clothes, I could tell they're loosening up. I have a lot of pants and jeans that I cannot fit into. And they would get up to my thighs, and then they wouldn't get over my rear end. And when they would get over my rear end, then I couldn't button them up. So those are some little goals that I think I'm going to focus on. Instead of this scale the next month or 2, I'm going to focus on getting into those things. One of the things that I want to do to help with that is exercise, because it reduces the inches. My next goal on the scale is 50 pounds, and I don't want to stress myself out about it before this year is out. 20 more pounds, so we shall see what happens. The third awesome thing about being on Mounjaro is I started a YouTube channel to document my weight loss. I cannot believe that I have a YouTube channel. I do not like to speak in front of a group, although in the career that I have, I'm in leadership positions where I have to speak in front of a group or give a presentation and talk in front of people, and that's not my favorite thing to do. Being a YouTube creator, you have to hear yourself talking, see yourself talking, and it's just forcing me to put myself out there and do something that I normally would not do. So I have to thank being on Mounjaro for that, because otherwise I would not have done that. Besides documenting my own weight loss, I'm really hoping I can inspire and motivate others to join me on this weight loss journey. It has really and truly been a great experience for me. We can do this together, and I'm looking forward to it. I would like to thank some subscribers that have been so supportive of my videos. I would like to send a shout out to Deb. She is just awesome. Every video I post, she makes a comment. She gives me advice. I feel like she's a mentor and a cheerleader all at the same time. I love that, and I appreciate that about her. I also have a subscriber, S. Gillian, and I'm not sure if her name is Sandra or not, but she's another awesome subscriber that makes comments, cheers me on, gives advice. So I appreciate that. Krista is another one that I see leaving comments. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Alonda is a fellow YouTuber, and I love her videos. I appreciate that she takes time out to respond to all my videos. She leaves a comment. She gives great advice. And I just appreciate the sisterhood. So if you are watching this channel and you don't know Alonda, please look her up and subscribe to her channel. Finally, I would like to thank Zep Bound with Ange. Zip Out with Ange was one of the YouTubers that motivated me to start my own channel. I think that lady is beautiful. I love her confidence. I just love her personality. I love how she empowers people. She makes you feel like you can do it. Thank you to everyone that watches the videos, whether you're a subscriber or not. I appreciate the support. That brings us to my grand total, the amount of pounds that I have lost in 6 months. Let's get a drum roll, please. It is 30 pounds. I hit that 30-pound mark. Exactly 30 pounds. I am so excited. It motivates me to push forward to get to that 50, which is my next goal. So thank you to anyone and everyone that has been on the journey with me so far. I'm looking forward to slimming down diva style in the coming months. Thank you for watching. Like the video, leave a comment in the comment section. And remember, slow and steady wins the race. Just don't quit.